Hello. Hello again. Welcome, everyone. Enviro Boy's playing Potion Craft. We left off the last episode. I completely bombed a potion, and so we're going to start this one off making that exact same potion. Makes for excellent entertainment. There's one thing, though, that occurs to me that we can probably do to make this a little bit more expedient, because as we learned from the last one, whatever the furthest to the left of the abilities of a potion, that's the one that'll get bumped off. So even though I don't have a weak version of the one, we can do continue brewing from here, and it'll just knock off those extra 2 fragrances. So we can at least save ourselves a little bit of effort in that way and just start moving from there. We have our fragrance, we have our smellies, and now we'll continue on to make luck, inspiration, fear, and curse. Curse, not enlargement, which to my broken colorblind eyes look relatively similar, and that's a big reason why I mucked it up. I really just all kind of garbled it up there, and that's on me. I acknowledge my own fault in these situations. I acknowledge it, but I am unhappy with it, as one is often wont to be about their own shortcomings. Aware of them, but unhappy about it, and frankly, who could blame any of us? No one wants to admit that we're imperfect, because admitting that we're imperfect is largely a painful thing, because it means that we have more work to do, and who wants to do work? Work is exhausting and tiring, and, you know, we all just mostly want to chill, as famously said at one point of specifically girls, but is true of everyone. They just want to have fun. And isn't that the truth of all of us? Don't we all just want to have fun? I mean, what's the point of much else in life, right? We're here to enjoy our time. I'm here for a good time, not a long time, as people say when they're about to throw themselves out of planes or induce some sort of organ failure because of something they ingest. It's perhaps a little melodramatic, and perhaps a bit of just a whimsical excuse to make irresponsible choices, but that's part of life, is we can make our irresponsible choices. So I will make the slightly more responsible choice of not doing anything particularly damaging to my health, and instead just sit here and monotonously play the same game, doing the same task over and over again, because I jacked it all up the first time, and now I have to live with and correct my errors. Send this thing in here, and we'll go up and get our lucks. Get our good Luckington luck boy. Get up there and don't lose that potion. There we go. See, now we can just go like that, and we have the luck, and then we'll just continue to stir it. Now if we go, so now we have to go up to the inspiration. So now we go all the way up and over, and we're not even going to get any experience points for this one, because I already got all the experience points by having to go that far. I don't like the whirl wheel. It always gets in the way of this stupid thing, so I can never see where I'm supposed to go with it. Yeah, jeez. Alright. Sorry, I'm blaming the game for my shortcomings. I'm in a crabby mood because I jacked things up. I messed it up on my own. I have no one to blame but myself. But sometimes, like I said, as we started, I'm making a circular conversation at this point in time, because that's where we started, and no one likes to admit that they're imperfect. We all want to be perfect, because perfect is, well, just that. Perfect. Perfectly smart, or intelligent, or attractive, or stinky, or whatever it is. If you're gonna be something, be perfect at it, right? And I know there's all the platitudes of nobody's perfect, but it's a weird dichotomy of nobody's perfect, but we strive for it, and the idea is that you can always improve, and blah blah blah, the things people say to each other and themselves when trying to come to terms with our own lackluster existences. Try to make up reasons that we're okay with it, when really just at the end of the day, all it is us acknowledging the fact that we can't do anything right. As they pull up, I'm in a nosedive here, and it's getting dark here as I squash up the world's most zigzaggiest of carrots. Which incidentally is roughly similar to what my garden looks like, and it makes me appreciate the concept of, you know, when you have those grocery stores that'll take the reject fruits and vegetables because, like, they weren't pretty enough to sit on the displays of a store and everything like that, but it's still perfectly edible food. It just doesn't look like, you know, the picture on the menu of the McDonald's burgers and stuff. When it's all like, this is what you're ordering, we guarantee it'll look like this, and it never does because some snot-nosed teenager doesn't have any care at all in the world. Number of attempts, I don't care about the number of attempts. What's this one? Increases by 1. I want to get more popularity when I sell things, is what I would love, but apparently that's not. Number of visitors standing in line increases by 1. Honestly, that might be a good thing to end up getting, because then we can just, in like as few days possible, and just get our popularity once we make our potions. That'll be great. Everybody knows the whole point of making potions is to get popular, and that's not even particularly sarcastic. I mean, there's truth behind the concept that the point of doing things is you want to, like, the point of how we approach doing things is we want to do it well, because, like, if you're running a business, you need to be, generally speaking, pretty well liked. Otherwise, you know, who's gonna buy your crap? So you gotta, it's like good feelings from your customers is advertisement in and of itself, because people will be like, yeah, you know, Barry Brewster over there might make better potions, but he's a real piece of work to talk to. He once made fun of my grandmother's blouse and made her upset, and, you know, it's not necessarily the worst thing for her to be upset, because she's kind of a harsh woman, and oftentimes made us grandkids cry when we were growing up by, you know, talking about how we were soft and, you know, and didn't appreciate life and all that kind of stuff. But that said, it just seems a little unnecessary as well, because, like, you know, at the end of the day, she was just a paying customer, just trying to get her products, and Barry just had to go on and say all kinds of mean things about her. Meanwhile, Julius over there, Julius Jumper Snipes, he makes the potions that are, you know, maybe not quite the best ones, but golly, he's super nice. You know, I once witnessed him give a library book to a puppy. And I don't know why that's good, but it seems like a kind thing to do, and involves charitable organizations like libraries and fluffy, adorable creatures like puppies, so it can't be all bad, you know, when he does stuff. And so I guess if I were to have to participate in things like a capitalistic economy, even though we are discussing, you know, an alchemist in a time period when barter system is probably still the majority of what happens. If I have to participate in a capitalistic system within that society, I guess I'd rather do it with a dude that I feel like I could, as they say, drink a beer with, or, you know, whatever it is people do for fun these days. It's hard to know as I'm sitting here sarcastically playing a made-up character from, you know, a handful of centuries ago, because I've not even been alive for a half a century, so I don't have a whole lot of context for that much time backwards in history. No, stop. Let's huck the thing over there. Sometimes you just gotta go all Huckington. You gotta hulk out and throw stuff, because it gets in the way. And is it possible that it's my own fault that I'm experiencing that? Yes, it's entirely possible. In fact, it's probable, because my general distaste with, you know, and what I'm doing right now comes from the fact that I really screwed the pooch on things and picked the wrong stuff and accidentally made the wrong potion. And that's on me, but it also means that the fun part about admitting my blame in this is then I get to be particularly mad at the guy who jacked it all up, because it's me. I'm the one who messed it up. So it's like, you can't tell me to not hate myself. And, like, what are you, my therapist? And that's, you know, like, what are you, trying to help me be a well-adjusted individual? That's not what you're here for. You're here for entertainment purposes and to stroke my ego by liking, commenting, and subscribing and all of the mundane routine stuff that we always tell all of you viewers to do, and hope that you actually do, but ultimately have no real power over it because, you know, the other thing is, at the end of the day, what is it if not just a bunch of, like, you know, internet popularity points? I don't get any money off of this because despite my attempts to try and convince Sunny D to sponsor me in the last episode, I have not since then received a call from them, probably because I didn't even publish the video. I recorded it, and then I pretty much immediately went to recording this one, so it's not really a reason they would even be aware that I, was requesting that. Finish that potion. Oh, thank God! Now we can just put it where it needs to go. Goes down. Where's my thing? It's got to go in that one. Where's the potion? Where is it? Where is it? Tell me it's right. Oh, thank God! Knowing this, we can save ourselves a little bit of time for all of these by, like, whatever our first one is, starting there and then going onwards from there. That's going to be probably a helpful thing. Don't mind me taking more, I would say, sips of soda, but realistically that was a bigger gulp and will likely lead to me belching in the near future, so future Scott will apologize for that. I want to start off brewing a potion of hallucinations. Continue from brewing from here. So we got the hallucinations, and now we're gonna have the levitation, libido, acid, and necromancy. This is perhaps the most volatile and violent of potions ever, and I'm gonna be perfectly honest. Anytime you mix libido with necromancy, I don't know that I like the direction that goes. It seems like it's, I wouldn't even say morally gray or ambiguous. I would say that's morally just pretty messed up. Because, man, what is on earth do you need to do with someone brought back to life and libido? That seems even beyond. I mean, I suppose you might argue that it's like, well, at least they're back to life, so we could consider, if we're gonna have the discussion about consent and where the lines are for that, like, I suppose you could make that argument, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say it that there are plenty of living fish in the sea, and maybe that's the best place to go for all of that kind of stuff. Because here's the thing, the other thought about it that I immediately have is, suppose I'm a deadman and I get brought back to life, probably the first thing that I'm thinking about isn't, getting dicked down by some horny wizard, and rather I'd be more interested in, like, checking on, my family and making sure they're okay, and all of that kind of stuff, because, like, that just, I don't know, that just seems like a more wholesome thing that I would do if suddenly I was given a second chance. So, keep that rowdy energy away from me if you are bringing me back to life. Because the other thing about it, too, is it's like, if it's a potion of necromancy, then presumably you're giving that to the corpse, so this also seems like it might be dangerous, because suddenly you've got humping Frankenstein coming after you, and I'm gonna be honest with you, that sounds more terrifying than any other brand of Frankenstein I've ever heard of. So, like, be careful. Tread carefully, my friends. Tread very carefully when playing with a potion like this. Presumably it has function within this grander salt scheme that we're making right now, but whatever that may be, I certainly don't know what it is, and we've already strayed so far from God in this conversation that I fear for my mortal soul if I continue doing that. And it comes from a guy who largely doesn't fear the concept of God, because the messages are conflicting at best, and ultimately it seems like he would be kind of a chill dude that's all about forgiveness and all of that, but even then there's limits that I have in terms of going against anything that would be considered godly. Because I will confess that, largely speaking, at least the concept of godly is to be goodly, and if we're going against that, it seems like that would mean we're being badly, and that's, well, badly thought through. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I've really taken a lot of brave steps in terms of my commentary and my willingness to discuss some pretty awkward things here. Things that I initially gave myself pause when I was about to say and said, am I really going to take it to that level? Have I really come to this point? And the answer is yes, because I can say phrases like, have I come to this point? And I immediately think of, you know, the childish ways you could interpret parts of that phrase in certain words. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then good for you for being a pure of soul individual. And if you do know what I'm talking about, then, you know, nice. This is what happens when I have to sit here and, you know, deal with mistakes from the last episode and remake potions and, largely speaking, just keep going through the monotony of what's happening here. Now we go make acid and then we make necromancy. Acid's gonna take us all the way down. Let's see, there's poisons there. Isn't acid somewhere down here? I don't remember where it is. What's that? That's glue. Acid. After all, who would even know where acid goes? I think that it would go somewhere near where the poison... Oh, there's acid down there. Alright, well, at least acid is on the way to necromancy, which we have to do. And I'm still not comfortable with this potion, I'll be perfectly honest. Even though I'm making jokes and making light of it, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'm a little hesitant about the fact that a potion like this could even exist. I would be much more comfortable if just the laws of nature decided, like, no, you can't do that, you freak. It's too much. You've gone too far. And nature is going to be self-correcting on this one, Buster. And the potion's just going to blow up, and you're probably going to get at least, like, second-degree burns for even having the gumption to like, even think about making something like this. You weirdo. You weird person. Getting intense about this one, but again, I feel like I have a certain fairness about getting uncomfortable with this for all of the reasons I've discussed. And now they're probably thinking, anyone watching this is probably thinking, this horse is thoroughly dead, man. It's thoroughly dead. You should stop beating it. It's just cruelty and sick and twisted, and honestly, it's getting so messed up to the point that you really kind of lost the plot, and you might as well just go ahead and go with the potion as it is, with the whole necromancy and lovin's. And and it's just weird now because some of it's fiction, but like the commentary isn't fiction, and it's just you going on, and we've lost the plot in so many ways, man. I don't know what to do anymore. Nobody knows what to do anymore. Have you seen the world outside? Nobody understands where we are, how we got here, or what to do anymore. The world is one cacophonous bit of nonsense, and that's why we play games and say random stuff while we're doing it, because everything is so horrible out there that we just need any distraction, man, any reason to not have to think about what's happening in the real world. Places are on fire. Smash Mouth has come to life with, you know, worlds on fire. How about yours? How are we doing on time? We're doing great now. We've made 2 potions already. We're already making up the lost time from the last one. What's the next one we need? Potion. Oh, it starts with mana, vision, charm, rage, and slow. These all seem like they're kind of closer, so this one might be a simpler one to do. So we'll start with the potion of mana. Gotta make vision. I feel like I made this potion almost. Didn't I make one that's like this? Oh yeah, we did we did this one. That was mana, vision, and then that stuff. So okay, all right, okay. So let's start brewing from. There's the potion of mana. There it is. So continue brewing from here. So now we'll do that, and then now can we just like cheat our way over and just hop in? Oh, close. All right. Well, we'll just do one of these. Get ourselves a little closer. Going over there and grabbing that, and then we'll do this one. Our little Z wave there will get us where we need to be, and we'll come over here and grab this type of stuff. And then what did we need? We needed the potion of charm. It's gonna be like up over there, right? Yeah, so we'll come back over here and we'll just re-escape from this weird little islet of potion limbo here, and go up and arc our way up as best we can. I don't want to use that. I only have so much of that one, but this one arcs the way we need it to. Go up there into the little... just at the very tippy top of the weird little honey dipper of potions stuff. Honestly, this one with a little bit of curvature might work, but actually this one's got kind of the curvature we're looking for anyway, so we'll just do this one. And go over there. So we have mana, vision. What are we making? Vision, charm, rage, and slowness. Honestly, couldn't even begin to come up with some sort of comedic explanation for what the heck this potion's good for. This is such an amalgamation of crap that I have no idea what's going on. This really feels at this point in time like some dude just kind of had a dartboard and gave the darts to his, to his cat and said, "Go nuts, man." And the cat was like, "It's finally my time. I can cause destruction. The destruction that lives in my heart." And we all know that it does. It's not to act like we don't know that that's what cats are all about. I love cats. I'm a cat person. I love them for their connivingness. It makes things interesting, but like, let's not forget exactly what we sign up for when we get a cat. We sign up for having a little supervillain come in and just find all kinds of ways to just, mess with us and make our lives more challenging. That's the fun part of it. Dogs are too easy sometimes. They're just so eager to please all the time that it's like, man, just have an original thought of your own. It's like that friend that just like comes by all the time and just, he doesn't contribute ideas to what to do on a Saturday night. He's just like, "That sounds great, Charlie," and you all go for it, and then you realize that you've done the same thing 1,500 times because no one else is offering any sort of counterpoint to what Charlie said in the first place. And it's just like, it's fine, like we don't dislike what we're doing, but also at the same time it's like, man, we got to mix it up a little bit. But it's just like, my idea is always just to go drinking on the corner and then fill up with a half a tank of gas and see if we can get into a drag race. Maybe, I don't know, maybe punch a senator or something like that if we cross paths with them. It's all just craziness, right? And that's all we ever do when it's just us. But that's not good, man. We need something more. We need more whimsy and fun in our lives. And that one friend, he never contributed to a gosh darn thing. He just keeps saying the same thing over and over again, man. He's just a broken record of saying like, "That's great." And we're like, "No, man, you gotta give us something to work with here, man." That's what it is. I don't know what is that. I've lost thread of my own conversation. I'm practicing just kind of letting my mind go and say the things that come to it as sort of like a humor giving technique. And I feel like it leads to a lot of fun non sequiturs like this, but it also tends to make it harder for me to hold a thread of thought. It's fun though, because like I can start really branching away from just like saying what's happening on the screen. You don't need me to commentate the screen. You're all watching it. It's like, what are we gonna sit here try to make this exciting as the FIFA Cup or something like that? Just like, oh, he's going in, he veers to the left, he's gonna try and get it into the goal here. He takes the shot, he's gonna take the shot. It's crazy. There's no goalie there, except there is the goalie. It's like the Bones. He goes in there and he scores. He scores one for the Wizards. One for the Wizards of Waverly Wombat, Wisconsin. They're there. He made it. They've done it again. They've done it again for the first time. The new champions. See, it doesn't work, right? It's just a bunch of nonsense. It doesn't make any sense at all. This one needs to go right in here, and then we've got that. We've got only 2 potions left. Oh my god, we're so close. Look at that. We still have so much time. We can make at least one more, man. We're really cruising through this. We've got time. Let's keep going. Strength, so this is all close stuff too, man. This one's the last big one. We'll save that one for the next episode because it'll probably take a while to get to all those outside ones. What's the point? What's the point of enlarging and shrinking? They completely undo it. They block the magic too, so what does that mean? What does that even mean if we're going to block the magic? He's going to be a big guy, he can't get hit, and then he shrinks back down to normal size, but then you can't throw acid at him because everyone knows when you got a guy that gets real big and real small, the first thing you want to do is you want to throw acid. But he's protected from it, and then he can regain his health because everyone knows that it takes all kinds of health to do that. Everybody knows. Anyway, we're going to start with a strength potion. Let's start brewing from there. So we've got that. Now, what do we need? The next one we need was the snow potion. Potion of Snow White. And just go back here. And just do this. Watch this. We'll do that. And then we'll gain ourselves a little bit of room to work with by doing that one. It works out so well. Everything's turning up for us today. It turned down for what, but then it turned up for us. And that's That's the ultimate, success story right there. And so we'll just sacrifice one of these. I always get worried about using too many of those, but I got like hundreds at this point in time. We're doing great now. Do that. You've got the Frost, strong Jack Frost, who slept all day but ran in his sleep. He was dexterous and swift. He ran and climbed in his sleep in the middle of winter. He was a crazy man. He's just all over the place, man. He was freaking everyone out. But he was a man who was on a mission while he was asleep. It was crazy. Anyway, what was I saying about not having to commentate on what's happening on screen? And then I just proceeded to spend like 5 minutes doing only exactly that. This is highbrow, high quality stuff, guys. You can't get better entertainment than this unless you want to spend money. If you want to spend money, you can easily get better entertainment than this. I acknowledge that. I recognize the truthiness of that. That's okay, because I'm not charging you for this. Maybe I should start... Maybe I could trick people into thinking that this is actually worth their time and energy and money if I started charging for it. I could teach you, but I'd have to charge milkshakes and all that. Anyways... I didn't have anywhere I was going with that joke. I just kind of started to say things. I kind of recognized a little bit. There was like one of those. I was like, hey, there's a reference in here. I can make that connection, but I didn't make anything of it. It's really hard. I don't know if people understand just how difficult it can be to try and offer up amusing commentary in these types of situations. Like, it feels like it should be the easiest thing in the world, and we'll just talk, especially because, like, all of us have had that experience about, like, when we're doing this just with our friends, it feels easy and joyful and whimsical, and we don't have any problems doing it and making, good times with everyone and good memories, and we think, well, what if I just did that on camera? But then, when you're sitting here alone, it gets quite difficult, because you don't have anyone to yes and you don't have any sense of... Like, am I saying things that are amusing, or am I just babbling on in ways that no one will ever like? Because you've got no feedback coming in these situations, man. Look at that. Look at us go. That's 4 potions in one episode. This is the most productive episode I've, ever had. Let's celebrate by selling some stuff. You want sleep? You want to sleep? Just chug this whole thing. You'll sleep for 17 days, man. It's the best stuff that anyone has ever slept through. It's like Z-Quil, but like 500 times the dose. It's likely to kill a horse, but if you're lucky, you might just fall asleep and wake up at some point. Protect against blows in melee combat. Need strongest potions. Pay extra potions some suitable additional properties. Well, I'm not going to give you the additional properties one, but it's a really strong potion. I don't mess around with weak potions. I honestly think they're a waste of everyone's time. So just get out of here. Came across the scroll, contains a mighty spell. I want to try it out. Afraid I may not have enough magical power. It's okay. We can give you. We can get. Well, having trouble getting it up. And when we say it, we mean your magical powers. Having trouble getting it up. Well, boy, have I got the little blue potion for you. Okay, you need a potion you can use on a shield to add extra protections from different kinds of danger. Okay, how about fire? Sure, why not, right? There you go, curly-haired individual. I don't say that to make fun of you. I have curly hair too. Maybe not quite as curly. Yours looks kind of permed. But yeah, I need a potion that can get rid of cockroaches, bedbugs, and other insects. You just want like a potion of poison. There you go. One of the simplest ones that we can make, buddy. I don't even know why we need a potion of that. You can just go out and find half the berries in the world. It'll kind of have that effect for you. There you go. Hey, it's our big friend, our big giant furry friend. Where do you live? So I can come and take you on a date. You're not typically my type, being, a man or whatever. But like, also, I mean, look at this guy. He looks like he would be the cuddler supreme. And he's always ready to golf. Look, he's got the golf tees right there. Always ready to go. That's a joke. I know those aren't golf tees. Well, maybe they are. I don't know. Maybe the joke is that you think that's a joke. Who knows? Anyway, where do you live? In a normal house. Well, sort of normal. It's normal for me, but it would be a bit too big for you. I built it myself to fit me and my family. That's cute. And it's also heartbreaking for many a furry heartthrob. Would have loved to have a chance. I mean, I suppose they say just because there's a goalie doesn't mean you can't score, but also we wouldn't do that to him. He's our darling dear. He's our darling dear best friend. We have increased our popularity and we're one potion away. This is good progress for the day, and which means it's probably time for me to say thank you so much for joining me. I love and appreciate. I appreciate the whole lot of you. I really do. Advice for the day: find ways to enter a flow state where you're just babbling about nothing and barely paying attention to what you're doing. If you can get to that point but still be successful at what you're doing, then you're probably doing something really well. That shows that you're a proper expert. True expertise is the ability to do something without having to pay attention to or care what you're doing. So, that's horrible advice for you to follow or ignore based on how much you want to ruin your own life. And with that, I remind you that I do love you. See you later. Bye. Only not goodbye, because I always say goodbye, and then I sit here and everything's done, and I just kind of ramble on for a little while. Why do I do it? I don't know. I couldn't tell you, truthfully. It just seemed like a fun thing for me to do one time, and I liked it, and I kept doing it. And if that doesn't describe most of how most people spend their entire lives, then, well, I don't know what really would. So, there you go. Goodbye.